Kyle Richards opens up about the hard parts of co-parenting with Mauricio Umansky. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Kyle Richards is opening up about co-parenting her daughters, Alexia Umansky, Portia Umansky, and Sophia Umansky, with their father, Mauricio Umansky, who she separated from in 2023. Umansky is also the stepfather to Richards' eldest child, Farah Al-Jafri. During a February 2025 episode of the RHOBH After Show, Richards said she has a good relationship with her estranged husband. She said, however, that she will occasionally get upset with him because of stories in the press. As an example, she said she got annoyed about something regarding Umansky during their December 2024 family trip to Aspen. Richard said that Umansky reminded her that they have to work together for Alexia Umansky's upcoming wedding. He's like, "Listen, we have a lot of important dates coming up. We want to have good energy together." And I was like, okay. "You're right," said Richards during the RHOBH After Show episode. She then said, "It's hard sometimes going through this. When you see headlines, I try not to look. But then I'll be scrolling, minding my business, trying to find a funny meme to make me laugh. And then it's like bam, Kyle and Mauricio. And I'm like, wasn't expecting that," said Richards. During the RHOBH After Show episode, Richards said she is grateful that she and her estranged husband still get along. She said, however, that their friendship does complicate their separation. "Like I look at other people who are like, oh, we're separated. We're fighting like crazy. Boom, done, divorced, finished. And that's just not the case with us. And I think sometimes it would be better if it was more black and white. It's just different things work for different people," said Richards. During a February 2025 interview on the Bravo's Hot Mic podcast, Richards spoke about what led to her separation from Umansky. According to Richards, she and Umansky stopped prioritizing their relationship after their respective careers took off. Richards also said that Umansky started getting attention that he didn't get before when his company, the agency, became successful. "There's more people looking at him. He's a rich man. It's a very different situation. I think even looking and seeing him as a great husband, a great dad, is appealing to some of these women out there that don't care if someone is married. Just I think having that thrown in your face all the time. And of course, me being busy and traveling, I think all of that did not help," said Richards during the podcast interview. In a December 2024 episode of Bravo's Hot Mic podcast, Umansky shared if he believed he and Richards would mend their marriage. "I think that we are both allowing time to pass without doing anything. I think that the way I'm seeing it is that everything will happen naturally for whenever it is meant to be. Or however it's meant to be," said Umansky. He also said that he believed the longer you're apart, the harder it is to reconcile. Kyle Richards sat on the plush couch in her Los Angeles home, adjusting the sleeves of her soft beige sweater as she exhaled deeply. The cameras were off, the glitz and glam of reality TV temporarily faded, and for a rare moment, she allowed herself to be vulnerable about the challenges of her evolving family dynamic. Co-parenting with Mauricio Umansky was a new reality she never anticipated, at least not in this way. They had spent decades building a life together, raising their daughters, hosting lavish family vacations, and navigating the unique pressures of Hollywood marriage. And now she was learning how to co-parent with the man she had once seen as her forever. A new chapter in an old story. "It's been hard," Kyle admitted, her voice carrying the weight of raw honesty. "You don't just switch from being married to being co-parents overnight. It's a transition, and some days, it's really, really tough." For years, they had been the ultimate power couple. She, a longtime star of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and he a successful real estate mogul. Their love story had been chronicled on TV, and while they weren't without their struggles, the public saw them as one of the more stable couples in the Bravo universe. But as time passed, cracks formed, and in 2023, news of their separation shocked fans. Now, instead of sharing a life under one roof, they were navigating what it meant to raise their daughters while living apart. Balancing the public and the private. Co-parenting is difficult for any family, but for Kyle and Mauricio, their situation came with the added stress of constant media scrutiny. Every move they made was dissected. Who was at which event, who posted what on Instagram, and who was seen with whom. The hardest part isn't just about us, Kyle explained. It's about making sure our daughters feel stable and loved. They didn't ask for any of this. Their 4 daughters, Farrah, Alexia, Sophia, and Portia, had grown up in the spotlight. Now they were adjusting to new norms. Holidays split between their parents, dinners where one seat was noticeably empty, and the unspoken reality that nothing would ever be quite the same. I try to remind myself that even though Mauricio and I are no longer together in the same way, we're still a family, Kyle said. That's something that won't change. Finding a new normal. Kyle and Mauricio had committed to keeping their split amicable, but that didn't mean it was without its challenges. Learning to navigate separate lives while still making co-parenting work required patience, understanding, and, Kyle admitted, a lot of self-reflection. There are moments where it feels